Hi, I'm Arbel from Job Test Prep, and in this video I will walk you through the Klarna Logic Test. Let's go! The Klarna Logic Test, also known as the Kattis Logical Thinking Test, is a 15-minute, 18 questions abstract reasoning test that you must pass in order to get into Klarna. All 18 questions appear in the same format, a sequence of 3 5-on-5 grids of dots, or squares, sharing a logical rule, and your task is to complete the sequence with one of the 6 answer choices. The format of the Klarna Kattis questions is clear, but seeing them for the first time on the actual test can be very stressful and become much harder to solve. Later in this video we will try a much more difficult question, one that you don't want to encounter unprepared. Here are the basic rules of the test. The difficulty increases as you advance in the test. All questions are weighted the same on the test score. You can go back and forth between questions, and leaving a question unanswered is the same as getting it wrong. So what can we learn from the test instructions to create a solving strategy for the Kattis Logical Thinking Test? As the whole test has 15 minutes, you have 50 seconds per question. However, you will want to solve the easier questions fast, so you'll have more time for the harder questions. If you find yourself losing precious time on a question and you don't have a clue what the correct answer is, just guess and skip. Don't leave the question unanswered, as you will lose points, and if you have spare time at the end of the test, you can easily go back and try to solve it. You're solving a difficult question and almost a minute went by. You think you understand the rule behind the sequence, but you're not 100% sure. Use the answers to your advantage. By the process of elimination, you can increase your chances of getting the answer right. Remember I promised you a difficult question? Pause the video and try this one for yourself. The logical rule behind the sequence involves a type of movement called merging and dividing. In this sequence, the 2 left columns move to the right, while the other columns stand still. Whenever 2 black squares meet, as a result of the movement, they merge and become a white square. But they are not gone. In their next step, they reappear as the columns move on. Following this pattern, in the next step the black squares on the 4th column will merge and become white. You can use the process of elimination and see that the only possible answer is the second option from the left. So, we understood the logic behind the question by understanding the movement of the dots. Like I mentioned, this specific movement is called merging and dividing, and it is one of 5 movement patterns you'll see on the Klarna test. The 5 types of movement that might show on the Klarna Logic tests are rotation, encirclement, growing or diminishing in motion, snake movement, and lastly, the movement we just saw, merging and dividing. In a rotation sequence, the whole figure can rotate 90 degrees clockwise, for example. In some cases, the dots could rotate on a 45 degrees angle. In the encirclement movement, whenever a dot of squares reaches the end of the frame, it will start again from the other side, making a full circle. In the growing or diminishing in motion movement, a line of dots will move in certain direction while adding or subtracting from the original line. In the snake movement, the line of dots will advance in a snake-like movement, changing direction when it reaches the sides of the grid. And you already know the merging and dividing movement from the example I recently showed. On the more difficult questions on the test, there could be several movements appearing simultaneously. Sometimes, 2 separate sets of dots will move in different ways, one rotating over the grid, while the other growing in motion. Tackling the harder question will require much more than just simple logic and intuition. Most candidates will need accurate practice to answer these correctly and achieve a high score. To get the best out of your preparation, make sure you check out our info page and study course. You will find more sample questions, accurate Klarna logic simulations, and the Kattis Logical Thinking study guide. Please comment below if you have any questions or if you want to share your experience from the Klarna hiring process. Good luck on your Klarna Logic test!